Okay, my heart's not really in this, but let's talk a little bit of Counter-Strike because there's this pretty decent contest tomorrow. Every major DK puts up like one main contest that's pretty good. This is going to be it for us. Um, I used to do a lot of Counter-Strike when it was on FanDuel, which was half a decade ago, because FanDuel's scoring system makes sense. It was very similar to League of Legends. It was like 3 points for a kill, one for an assist, minus one for death. Which that part of the DK model works. You know, it's 1.5. Here, I'll show you. If you don't know how to do this, play this, then honestly, don't get into it. It's the and worst. Um, but the scoring is pretty straightforward for the most part. You got kills are 1.5, and um, assists are one, deaths are one, entry kill per round, you can project, but it's a little hard. But different players generally play similar positions across maps, though sometimes on a team, depending on the map, players will play slightly different positions. But usually you have one guy per team that is going to score more entry kills. It's not a ton though. There are a few teams where it really stacks up, but for most teams, especially in close games, uh, the entry kills is really going to be kind of factored into the deaths, so that negative plus and what that looks like. Um, the clutches are, I mean, these are just bonus points. The 1v4, 1v5, 1v2, 1v3, you can kind of get an idea of where those might be at, but it's such a pain in the ass to do. Quad kills, aces, quad kill, it's like 3 points. Like these are just going to be bonus points, and the way to think about it with projections, I think, is just really to just consider that teams that are more highly favored by the Vegas odds are less likely to they'll have fewer deaths and they're more likely to have you know they're just more likely to score a little extra. And that's I hate this so much. I hate DraftKings scoring because we're gonna get down to the part that sucks. This rounds not played bonus and the match sweep bonus. Match sweep bonus isn't going to apply to this stuff tomorrow because tomorrow it's all one map. It's best of one. And that's great. Also, rounds not played bonus used to be worse when there were more rounds per map, but in CS2 they have limited it to 24 as the cap. There can be overtime, but the rounds not played bonus is only going to affect against the number 24. As they go over 24, there's no rounds not played bonus. So most of the time, Vegas is going to set the number for maps around 21 and a half rounds. And so it has been a lot better to go really at a maximum. This is like 6 points per map. My problem with it is I feel like only the winning team should be getting these, or what I had suggested to DraftKings when they first started doing this was that the rounds not played bonus be 1 for the winning team and zero point 0.5 for the losing team, because when there's more than one map, you really don't want to have that imbalance for a winning team to score less based on them getting blown out in one map, but handling the other two. However, again, tomorrow it's all one map games, one map matches. So we only care about 24 rounds, and that's why I think this might be worth the fool's errand of getting in there. I play these when they're up because they're usually actually good value, and they don't this one will probably fill. Often they don't. Like for Dallas, they only had I think they had 5K to first the first day, and it didn't fill, which is great. I mean, great for us, except that future contests are. Anyways, but the price is good. It's $10 instead of 20, which is what we've been seeing for League of Legends. Uh, I don't know why Counter Strike gets better contests, but they do. Also, though, Counter Strike, because of the weird scoring and how much um, variance there is in the scoring, people who play do tend to enter more entries. So for that $10 entry, maybe $20 for two or 50 for five is a lot more appetizing than paying 100 for five and not being positionally as great. $20. DraftKings raising the price on the League of Legends main to $20 has been a disaster, just a fucking disaster. I hate it so much. I hate everything. I'm really in a hating mood today. Also, I hate this slate for Counter Strike, but I do think there's a couple places that we can pick off. So let's look at this game by game, maybe. And first things first, we really want to talk about uh, this here, complexity and OG, because one of these people is not playing. There's no Halzer. Um, they still don't have Junior in the pool, but Halzerk isn't going to play. He's going to be replaced by Junior. The betting odds on this are really close to. Um, Let me show you here. Just CS2. So it's a dead heat. Yesterday, complexity was slightly favored, minus 125 to minus 110. And I think this is the market sliding over to OG, um, really because of this missing player. Because without Halzer, we don't really know what Junior is going to look like on this team. He's not in the pool either, so this is the first thing we need to cover is to make sure don't play Halzerk unless you know something that nobody else knows. But you'll see here, HLTV is really, if you don't know this website, this is the best website for Counter Strike stuff. But they have it clearly marked as Junior in and Halzerk out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, better ranked. Blah 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 blah. They're playing with stand-in Junior instead of Halzerk. It's it's just like a really interesting position, I think, where we're going to get a little bit of value in salary, maybe. Let's enlarge this just a bit. But it's not so much in salary savings to be worthwhile. Because at the flex here, we're still getting buzz at 54, which isn't great. I think Fiku is definitely somebody you'll see when we look at projections, but I think Fiku might actually pop a little more. Um, but yeah, so this is basically it's a pick 'em. This hero CW, let's look at this real quick. Heroic minus 900, Chinggis plus 500. It's the only one of these matches that's really a blowout. Yeah, B8 has slid more towards Imperial. It opened at minus 163 plus 120. Now we're at minus 150 plus 110. BB is not on the slate, right? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, this BB Namiga team is. I don't know why they didn't put it on there, but they didn't. Lin Vision. This has stayed stable since it's opened, with Legacy being a decent favorite there at minus 188. But again, it's one map, so we can try and predict maps if you want to get into it. Uh, this is State of Pick'em. It opened at a Pick'em Tyloo Energy, which Energy I think is a Dallas-based company, and this is another Texas one. So if you want to do narratives, I don't know. FlyQuest Fluxo stayed the same, and Wildcourt Metasport has close towards Metasport slightly. It originally opened right around even money, but so this isn't a big thing. We can look. Let me show you here in my spreadsheet. One of the things we can look at is these rounds. Vegas has most of them right around 21 and a half, except for it has that big blowout for heroics at 19 and a half. And I think what's one that's really interesting is that it has the legacy Lin Vision at 20 and a half. And I know that's because it's that minus 188. But I don't know. I think that think we might look at an overbet here on maps. Well, 12 and 9. No, no, this is about right. Because now you're just going to basically 12 is our number, but 24 rounds. And yeah. Yeah, so these are projections, DK projections for wins. If you're interested in my projections, these underdog kill projections versus their difference, they're in the regular spreadsheet where I post my League of Legends stuff. You can find it. These projections, it's important to note, these are projections in wins. Um, because they're essentially median projections based on player. It's so hard to do projections for these. They're essentially median projections based on regular player um, statistics and then put against the Vegas numbers for the match. You'll see here Halzer scores at 1.25 because of the projected numbers of rounds not played times half a point per round. That's the only reason he's in here, and also so that if if he wasn't in here when I put the information into Fantasy Cruncher, it would create problems where Fantasy Cruncher might use their projection, which was like 80 points. All their projections are so high for this slate. Um, I've already put my projections in here, but you'll see the Fantasy Cruncher projections 115, 150. Like, sure. I mean, they're not really far off the mark though, because you'll note that their projections and my projections are going to be kind of in line. But the interesting ones here are like, uh, let's look at this. This doesn't seem right. 35. Those are high projections. Oh, for the captain spot. Oh shit, man. Scared me. I'm like, yeah, for captains. We don't want to look at captain. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see most of these are just kind of in that like they're all within 17 to 23. And so they're not extremely useful um to use these projections. What I think that they are useful for are like um trying to determine value, because we can see here like if this is the team that is plus they're the team on the bottom side of the blowout, but obviously right, like if they win their value is insane, and these projections would probably be slightly low in a win, like 2 to 3 points. But if this were a regular slate that had all the matches be best of three, I think that there's a good argument to trying to diversify a little bit. But because these are best of one, we really need to pick winners. And I'll show you here an example of this. So like Fluxo has played some best of one games, and we can just go in here and show games played. This is the number of maps. Here's points that they've scored on these maps that they've lost. 8, 9, you know. Like here they lost 0-2. They scored 46 points because even if they're blown out, there's enough of a padding with the maps not played, and they're usually going to get to one of their best picked maps, which means that they are going to have the opportunity to win or at least be competitive on a map. In one map games, that is not the case. So you see these scores like 8, 9, here 4. Um, who's another team? NRG has played some one map games. So this one here, 7 points. Uh, you know, the variance here for a day like tomorrow is so high. Let's see if Wildcard has any. Yeah, here's one. Wildcard, 1 point, 6 points, 16 points, 10 points. Like, bro, you just really need to be cognizant of these things. 28 points here for JBA in a win. So that's a single map. 28 points. That's incredible. And that's the kind of stuff we want to be looking for. 23 points here and a loss, or this is probably a win that's just reversed. DK doesn't always have them right. 13 points. So these one map matches, 2 points. These one map matches can really have like a massive amount of variance. 2 points, Jesus. And we need to find the best spots for that. I'm not going to post the rest of this data up, but let me show you here. One of the things that we can look at is like kills per rounds. This is how I build it out: it's kills, assists, deaths, rounds. Then there's projected overall value. And, also baked into this is like ratings, damage, and uh, rounds not played. But yeah, let's just look at it. Okay. So one of the things we want to do is make sure that we're picking winners. So we want to limit opposing players to 0. I think right off the bat, there's definitely some we can take out. We're going to take out. Uh, for me, I'm not going to play enough. I like that they put the odds in here that these are all pick'ems. We're going to take out CW. They're the big dogs to heroic. I'm also going to take out Lin Vision, even though I think they might be live. They're the next biggest dogs at plus 137. I'm going to take out Complexity because without Halzerk, either they're going to score better, and you'll see this actually, you'll see in my projections, without Halzerk, the team actually projects better. So in a win, those players should project better in theory because they should be carrying the player that they're fitting in. That's not always the case. But we're going to take complexity out. We're going to put OG in here. And then let's just see what we get based on values. So this Imperial, um, yeah, Imperial's plus 120 to B8, but that's what it likes. Then it likes Wild Card, which shouldn't come as any surprise. We saw what they look like in their single maps, right? And I think this is I think we do want to get to some Wild Card. And this is Fluxo, who are technically they're they're close dogs to FlyQuest. I actually think FlyQuest is probably the name of the game here, but let's actually take this map. Let's take this out. I don't want either of them. And so that leaves us with OG, Heroic, who are big favorites. Uh, this is an actual pick'em, Tyloo Energy. Uh, let's take out Metasport. See if we do some wild card, and then let's build some stacks. So we're going to do a team stack of 3 and a team stack of 2, and then we're going to let one player hang out. And I think it's going to be try. How do we set this so that there's a way to set it so that, oh, yeah, we're going to make a stack of 1 and then make it so that captain is not allowed. No, because then then we'll end up with 1 stack. I'm trying to remember how to make it so that captain has to be in whatever. We'll just manually just fuck it. Just fuck it. Yeah, okay. So we'll just do a 3 and 2 stack and see what we get here. Yeah, like I like this. Yeah, I don't think I do these one-offs, but if we're gonna play Imperial, okay, let's take Imperial out because they are significant dogs. Uh, see where we end up here. Yeah, this is probably more what we really want to do. I don't know about this. But yeah, I like wild card. So this would be wild card, legacy. They're minus 188 favorites. Wild card is a pick 'em. It's technically minus 125 favorite. And then Or Tyloo playing. In RG, this is a straight pick'em. So Bros showing up here or Mercury if we want Tyloo. So yeah, like if you have a preference, I think Mercury's a really interesting play just as a one-off too. Because they should score pretty well even in a close loss. But yeah, we're just gonna get to a lot of legacy and wild card. Um, let's just put OG and wild card in here. Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to figure out what you want to spend money on, but like if OG again because Halzark isn't playing for complexity, if OG actually play at a high standard to win, I think my projections there are going to be significantly low. And I think the value is extremely high. I kind of like maybe a one-off from them as well. Yeah, these are all going to be basically the same lineup, um, but yeah. If we just do complexity in wildcard, this will give us some really high scoring. Like these are great projections. Is good 125. I guess not as good as legacy. But yeah, the complexity players project pretty well, especially Grim. You got to decide where you're at on. I think to me, this is the game that matters the most. This wild card metasport. It's also a bit concerning because it is the last game of the day. In the majors, they generally try to finish the day. It's not like a regular slate where sometimes those last games don't get played, but I've been bit enough times in Counter Strike to have that issue. But the majors, because they're LAN and on site, usually go through, and because these are all one map matches, I'm not worried about this running the early matches running too much late unless there's like a weird technical issue. But even then, I think these should run on time and should be in good shape here. Yeah, if we like Legacy, let's look at Matisse Sport with Legacy, see what we can get. What do we still have in here? Oh, complexity. Yeah, I think like I could get to Legacy is minus 188. I think people are gonna get there as they can. Also, I think a lot of people are just gonna play heroics because they're not that expensive. And this is really the problem with my projections is my projections just don't project them well. Um, the projections are just like, yeah, okay, 23, 18, and but they're just so expensive. Let me show you on the spreadsheet. Complexity. Yeah, so these they score. Sorry, heroic. We're talking about heroic, who are major favorites. Heroic just don't show as scoring very well, but I think people are going to get to them because they're minus 900. But the value is pretty good. Oh shit! God damn it! Just ignore everything I'm saying. Here's heroic. I have them in sorted by team. I was looking at CW, the opponents, where the value is good. But the value is still not terrible here for the salary. It's just that the salaries are so high. Like that's our struggle. Like we just paid like 5,200 for X Fluid um in the last major in Dallas. Hmm. Okay. And I don't know if this shit's any helpful, but I do kind of like it. If you just do the two big favorites, heroic minus 900 and then we'll call him a big favorite. It's a legacy minus 188. Let's see what we can get to here. Yeah, I mean, you know, like shit. All the stuff is going to project right around like your top projections for basically everything are going to be in this 120, 125. Like these 135s I think are outliers because actually actually I really like this. I really like this. If we like Imperial to win. God damn. Imperial just projects so well because the way that they play and that if they win there are players on that team who should score incredibly well. Here I'll show you all teams. Imperial. Like 23, 19. These are good scores for trying decently. And what you're paying in salary is pretty minimal 78 and 7,000. Uh, I think there's probably going to be a dog that wins. If I were just picking the matchups, I like OG to upset. It's technically now a pick 'em, but I like them to upset without Halzerk. And I don't know where DFS players are going to be on that, if they're how sharp they're going to be. Um, but yeah, I like OG. I think we have to assume that B8 close it out, but I think this should be a little closer than minus 163, minus plus 120. Uh, we're gonna side with Legacy, even though Lin Vision has been or Legends. Lin Vision has been fine. Uh, FlyQuest, obviously Hero. This is a straight pick'em. I think. Let's take a look at the Tyloo Energy. Tyler has better form ranking, won 5 of the last 5 matches. Tyler's better ranked. Tyler's bookmaker favorites. NRG's worst ranked. Let's look at these players. Okay. Oh, Energy's on a bit of a slide here, losing Legacy. These are good teams, though. Aurora's a really good team. Maps. What do we do? Okay. So they're not going to play Dust. No Dust. Not Ancient, which is good. I mean, it'd be unlikely if they were on Ancient. I don't think we'll see Grain, but we might. I wonder if they'll handshake on Mirage. Let's see who Mirage favors here. Mirage is like, it's going to be a pretty close matchup on Mirage. This might be in play. These teams are very close. OC's good when he's good. But we do also really like Mercury. I like the aggressive playstyle here. If they end up on Mirage, it could end up being a problem. They're not going to play Dust. I think their next, it'll either be Mirage or Inferno, I would guess. Inferno. Oh, oh man. Yeah, either one of these, both teams would be happy to play on Mirage or Inferno. I think Mirage probably leans towards Tyloo, and Inferno is probably going to lead towards NRG. So if you're looking for a bet and you know what map it's going to be, I think that for me would be how I would cap it. Yeah, I don't think they'll do Anubis. No, I think it'll be Mirage or Inferno. So this is too hard to pick. My heart says Tyloo. But I think narratives and some other stuff really make us want to get to NRG. What's the odds? If the odds move at all, just go with them. Um, yeah. Okay. Uh, what else? Do we have another match? Yeah. So I would take. I think I'd take Tyloo here, but NRG are a perfectly good pick. And then I'm gonna go with wild card over Metasport. And then if we just run it out like that, you still because we still have the 3-2 in, we're back to these here. Yeah, it really wants us to play a 3-2-1 with one from the NRG Tyloo game. Okay, well, I mean, this is what I'm going to play. If you want to know what I'm playing, it's going to be Legacy Wildcard and maybe a one off, maybe just Legacy Wildcard. We ran that, didn't we? Yeah. And we ran Legacy Metasport. Run just Legacy Wildcard. Is there an advantage, a significant advantage to taking a one off from the bottom side? There probably is mathematically, but in the projections, there is not. I mean, a little bit. 9-8, 9-1. There's 8-3 down here. There's a 3-3 and 7-6. Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is what we'll do. We'll just do Fizzy Sonic JBA. Let's slam this guy in here. Fizzy JBA Sonic. Fizzy Sonic JBA. Email look sets. All right. Well, I appreciate you hanging out while I work my way through this. Um, do we have any other good contests? No, there's like no other good contests. These are all garbage. I mean, the WTAs are fine if they posted any, but the main is the only one I think that's interesting. Still really down. Still, a bunch of us got not a bunch of us because this was my first entry, but a lot of people got in yesterday and nobody's gotten in today. So. Anyways, fuck it. Good luck to you. If you want my projections for anything, oh, this other thing that's here, if I didn't mention it, is my kill projection. The one my model shows is a kill projection versus this. Here's the thing though, I don't think I would use this to bet any of them because again, it's just in wins and it's just the yeah, like this. These are the from the major dog. Like I should probably take this off. No, we'll just put a big caveat. But as a general rule, if they win, they're usually going to score higher. Only a couple of these are under. I mean, obviously, they're going to avoid the Halzerk, I'm sure. But I would look at some of these if we have any major unders and see. Yeah, there's not any really big ones. I guess I saw a 146 and a 129 here. Yeah, I think these would probably be interesting unders. Mm, that's heroic though. They're the major favorites. Yeah, I think that might still be worth a position. But all right, good luck to you. This fucking garbage.